Hey everyone, so I have a fun, special little treat for you guys today. Most of my videos are, usually 45 minutes to an hour long because I try to give a full class lesson. This time I'm going to teach you all how to sketch a humanoid character in 10 minutes or less. And you'll see on the left of me I have my cell phone. I'm just going to use a stopwatch. You can watch it in real time, so there's going to be no gimmicks. This is going to be raw. I have my Moleskine sketch pad. I have my Bic ballpoint pen right here. If you guys are wondering the exact kind, it's Bic Ultra Round Stick Grip. Honestly, it doesn't really matter what type of paper you use, as long as it's of quality where it doesn't rip and ink doesn't bleed on it or whatever. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how I get started, and I'm going to start the timer. All right, ready? Let's go. As you can see it count down. So, 10 minutes or less, how would I start a humanoid character? First, I would start establishing, believe it or not, the wireframe of it. Okay, so let's test the ink out here. All right, no pressure, right? All right, so once we got this started, I can start to get a feel for how I want the head to go. Maybe this character is an alien type character, so think of the Na'vi in Avatar, or think of some kind of humanoid figure you've seen in movies where it's not quite human, but you can definitely see some anatomy in there. So I would definitely start with some outlines. Okay, so the wireframe that you have in there is just an indication of what to put in. It doesn't have to be exact, it doesn't have to be, so proportionally accurate that you're not really going to have any room for creative freedom. Now, am I going to put armor on this thing? Maybe. But I'm also going to play with super long limbs. I don't know if this is going to work. This is more of an experiment than anything. I do need a line to establish at least where the eyeballs are. So maybe the eyes are more drawn apart. Kind of like that. They're more spaced apart like this. Maybe this is a creature that has been discovered, or maybe it's a cryptid, I don't know. So you can start to see some of the features of what you would call an extraterrestrial, but it's also rather human. And you know what? I'm not trying to, but it's already kind of looking like a Wendigo, and I don't know if I want that. There's a lot of interpretations with Wendigos. Some are frozen, some are super tall and lanky. It's definitely going to be lanky, but I think with this creature, there's going to be more intelligence in this, and not just something that just terrorizes people in a campsite or hunters or whatever. If they're just going out on a stroll to hunt. So we'll see. You notice how I'm scribbling in shapes of what could potentially exist there, not what actually exists there. And that's what I want you all to do if you're drawing along with me. So just remember that all the lines that you put down for a character or a creature, whatever you're drawing, every single line is correct. Please just accept the fact that this is a journey when you start to build these shapes. There's nothing fancy that has to happen here. I'm starting to see the silhouette of this character really come up. Now, I don't know if I did that correctly. Okay, now it's squatting. You know what? I don't know if I screwed up, but I might have. So let's see what happens. Maybe it walks like a goat, like a heavy goat. I don't know. Put a little loincloth in there. This is a very primitive creature. There we go. So you'll notice like I'm putting in some darker lines on places where I am confident that I know I'm not going to want to change it. I'm going to put a little bit more emphasis on the face. The nose is rather human. We're going to put in some of the sinus cavities right here. A nice, decent jawline. Maybe some of the skin bends because it turns its head. Okay, hair. I don't know. It kind of looks scary or bald, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, so the bottom here, it's just these goat-like legs, I don't know if that's going to work, but maybe that's how it stands. So we'll see. Okay, and I'll try to have the timer in frame 2. So I have about 6 minutes, less than that. Okay, so I'll put the arm out here. Also, when you're sketching characters, make sure that when you extend a limb, that there's a purpose behind it. So I have to give purpose as to why that limb is out like that. Maybe it's actually holding something away from its body. So I'm thinking, wouldn't that be cool if this thing actually just went fishing? Maybe it found a lake or something, and then it grabbed a fish. So I'll put a fish in its hand. Okay, it's about to eat that sucker. Okay, just a little tail here. Maybe I'll bend the tail a little bit to show that the fish is actually still alive, and it just plucked it out of the lake or whatever it's eating from. Little eye. Put a little, like the dorsal fin up there. There we go. So see how loose I'm being with everything. Nothing has to be perfect. And if you really want to become good at sketching fast, do little studies like this on a daily basis and allow yourself to really explore some cool shapes. Let me move down here and show you what I'm doing for the feet. So they're going to resemble the tip of a human foot, but the ankle is going to be pushed back, similar to, you know, think about werewolf transformations and how the heel might be pushed all the way back until they're fully a werewolf. Okay, but this thing isn't a werewolf. I'm just saying for like shape purposes. All right, so that's pretty creepy, right? Okay, so I have less than 5 minutes. I might do more details on this as a part 2 of the video. I just want to show you what you can accomplish if you have 10 minutes or less and you need to get a character out quickly. Okay, so, I need to do the hand. Let's get the shape in, fingers. So let's do 5 fingers. You see how the fingers are actually a wireframe first. So these wireframes really help. Now, when I'm sketching with a pen, similar to a pencil, that I'm still having a lot of different line weights in here. You can see the depth happening. So I have some very, very light gestural lines and shapes that are pretty intriguing. And then other darker lines, I'm pretty sure that that's the outline of the body. Okay, that's the silhouette. Similar back here. So you have your latissimus muscle, and then you have your obliques. You have your hip. Okay, so you have the loincloth that it's wearing. And then over here, or actually up here, I'm pretty confident that I want the eyes that spread apart. So I'm just going to darken those. Because once you darken with pen, that's it. You can't really do anything other than that. All right, so the nose, I don't know how I feel about it. We'll see. And again, this is just a fun exercise if you guys want to learn how to draw a humanoid character quickly. That sternocleidomastoid will definitely be flexed as it's turning its head. You got the wrinkles on the side of the neck, your traps. Okay, you got your clavicle. Okay, you have the different muscles that make up the pectoral region. Okay, you got your diaphragm, you got your obliques. You're going to hint at these. You're not going to finalize them. Remember that. And these early stages of thumbnail sketches only hint at things you should not finalize. I'm hinting at the belly button. I'm hinting at abs. Okay, this thing probably doesn't eat very well. It's probably pretty emaciated. So it's not going to be built like Ronnie Coleman or Jay Cutler. There we go. But you just want to show an indication of some strength. Okay, even though it's skinny people can still be tough. And they can still have strength to them. All right, so over here on the left is probably where the majority of the shadow is going to be. So I'm just tilting my pen slightly to the side. And I'm going to be putting in some shadows and crevices where I know there's going to be a cast shadow. Similar to that. It's kind of like if you're walking out in the sunlight, you don't have a hat on, and it's directly above you. The shadow of your eyebrows are going to project onto the upper part of your cheek. Okay, similar to that. That's what really helps bring life into your characters when you do that in your sketches. Same thing with creatures too. It's really fun to do that. All right, I got 1 minute left. Okay, so do we have the feet? Yes, we have the feet. It fishes. It's a bald alien cryptid. You know what I'm going to need? Not completely bald. Let's put some scraggly hair right there, and maybe, just maybe, it could be a witch. I don't know. Okay, so now I'm just darkening some areas. Well, it has pecs, so it's not... I guess guys could be witches too. There we go. It could be like that creature in the... what's that movie from Australia? It came out in 2009, The Tunnel. Very, very, very underrated horror movie. Found footage. I love that movie. Comment below if you've seen it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do at the end, I have 10 seconds. I'm just going to wrap this up, and then in part 2, I'll explain a little bit further of how I can take this to the next level. Okay, so here we are in part 2, and I'm just going to kind of walk through why I made the lines that I did. When you sketch that quickly and you need to come up with an idea on the fly, it's better to get the silhouette first and the main features that you know you can put details on later. So we as the viewer are going to resonate most with the eyes and the face. Okay, think of all the horror movies that you see, and you look at the facial expression first and the type of eyeballs that it has. We notice the eyes first. If we see a creature, we watch a horror movie and we see the glowing eyes somewhere in the forest, the eyes tell a lot. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of darkening in little places. When I was sketching all that, I realized that I did not put ears in, so let's put some ears on it to really help bring out the silhouette. You know, maybe some of these ears can poke out a little bit more to help that, almost goblin-esque. All right. And then up here in the forehead, you got your cranium, and these shapes up here, you want to give the illusion that there could be hair on my creature, not yours. If you're drawing a completely different one, that's okay. You want to give the illusion that there's some scraggly, frayed hair up there. So when you do that, you can just take your pen or your pencil and you can do scratch marks very lightly, and you can go over top of each line one at a time, just in different directions. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going, okay, the majority of the detail is going to be in the face, and then I'm going to work my way down, because the neck, you know, like you got your trachea right here, you got your sternocleidomastoid muscles, and then you got your breastplate. So when that meets down there, there's going to be some cast shadow. Okay, so another thing about having realistic lighting in your character sketches is knowing where to cast that shadow from the head. I think a lot of people miss that part, and their characters end up looking flat, especially when those of you watching right now, you might be able to resonate with this. You're probably technically good, like you can shade really well and your line work looks good and it's very detailed, but it still falls flat, and that's because the cast shadows that you're not putting cast shadows on the characters or creatures to show that it's living somewhere with real lighting on it. Lighting says everything. There we go. Okay, and even so, like when you look at this face and then you look at the rest of the body as I move downwards, I can keep these shapes and these body parts loose. And then when you move up, all of a sudden, it still seems like a finished sketch because the emphasis is in the character. It's not the body, it's the character. So, what that means is, when we look at it, we have a lot of assumptions about this creature. 1, it's probably not nice. 2, merciless. Okay, there's no emotion in there. 3, it probably belongs maybe not of this earth. And there's a lot of reasons why we think that, simply because of that horrible looking face. And I deliberately made that face horrible. Okay, and now we're going to put in some of the anatomical features to really bring out that human form, but still keep it creepy. So for example, the thickness of the bottom lip. Okay, you got that large large palette right there on the top, right under the nose. Kind of a rounded nose. And the other thing is what I was saying before about making your sketches look more realistic and the cast shadows. Even the nose, the tip of the nose will cast a shadow depending on how strong a light source is. And then up here, you know, maybe this creature happened to come out in the sunlight. Okay, so you're going to have that highlight right here. Similar to, I mean, foundation drawing 101 when you're sketching those spheres and you're shading it. By putting in all these tiny, tiny little lightly applied marks, they overlap one another. That was a blooper. Okay, and by overlapping, you're creating a texture because you're filling space. I'm not shading at all. I'm just filling space with little marks. Okay, maybe the brow is furrowed a little bit to give it some emotion. Like, what are you doing here? Maybe there's a trail cam and it knows the trail cam is there and is just looking at it. That would be kind of freaky, huh? If it was up to me and I did a refined version of this, I would actually redo those legs. Because now that I'm looking at them, I don't like them. Because I think I started, maybe the torso is a little too long. But, I mean, that's why we do what we do when we concept these things. All right, I'm working on a movie concepts right now. Obviously, I can't say what it is, but we're going through different thumbnails, and some of them are working, some of them are not. And that's the beauty of it, because even with sketches that you might not like those of you right now opening your sketchbook and you probably see doodles that you don't like, don't by any means cross those out or think that you failed, because your brain is going to think differently about those a month from now, 2 months from now, because you're probably going to see a new set of reference images from another project you're working on and going, you know what, there's probably potential in a sketch that I did 5 days ago or a month ago. I've had artwork I've come back to that's 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old even, because now I see the potential and I didn't really know what I was doing before. I was just kind of just sketching and then hoping for the best. You know, and that happens a lot. It's more of an experimentation thing. We got to get through that. There we go. Hopefully this is helping you all. I have a blast doing these quick sketches, mainly because I want you to eliminate fear you have of drawing and making things perfect. And there's no fun in trying to make things perfect. Have you ever noticed your best stuff comes from when you weren't thinking? Not thinking as in you're dumb, I mean thinking as in I'm just having fun, just putting shapes down. And then you look at that sketch and go, man, I'm really glad that I did that. And I realized another mistake that I just made, and I'm totally willing to accept it. The length of this forearm is different than this one. Now, I could give the excuse like, maybe it was just made like that. Maybe the right arm is more human, the left arm, it's infected with something. That's, yes, I could do that. But me being, you know, I wouldn't say a perfectionist. Here I am saying don't be a perfectionist, but when it comes to body proportions and refining stuff, I would refine that into something that looks a little better. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to like and subscribe, and then especially comment below and tell me what you're working on. Tell me the problems that you have with sketching. Maybe you don't feel as good about the stuff that you're putting on paper or digital. Maybe I can help you too. Check the links in the description with our Creature Design Workshop Discord. It's totally free to join. We already surpassed 2,500 members. We're closing in on 3,000. It's so much fun with an influx of new aspiring concept artists wanting to get better. We have so many different channels. We have lounge channel. We have reference forums of everything that you can possibly think of: robots, animals, mammals, aquariums, and also we have work that you're doing personally. Just a lot of really cool different areas you can come in. And I'm already holding early signups for September's Creature Design Workshop. If you want to get better at your creature design skills. Absolutely no skill level required. You can come in as a complete noob, never having drawn anything. Just join our Discord, and I conduct all class in the Discord. Check the link in the below for creature design workshop website too. You can read all about it. Our syllabus is on there. It's a lot of fun. All right, so I'm just going to kind of darken up some edges here, and then we are finished with this doodle today. So hopefully you like this rather shorter video, but also hopefully you got as much out of it as my longer hour-long lessons. Okay. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you drew something cool, and if you don't really like what you drew, that's okay. Don't get rid of it. Don't cross it out. Put a date on there. Okay. This is August 8th, so I'm going to put that 8/8/2024. I might come back to that in January, February, I don't know, but I would like to know when I did it. All right, thanks for watching. Have fun drawing, and I'll see you all next time. Later.